Hello. Looking a slight bit of a hot mess this morning. Alright, so this flow is more of a slower, with intentional movement, focused on releasing your muscles or stretching. I don't really like using that phrase with it. I mean, yes, you're stretching. Anyway, and I have, as usual, my blocks. I do have two. Again, they're optional. Be using them to bring the ground closer to you. And then I have my bolster. I had it laying on the ground, but like it was blending in with the carpet, so you couldn't see it. And the bolster is to lie back on. I'm going to be taking fish at the very end. Ooh, don't be stepping on my phone. So I'm laying back on the bolster because actual fish or supported actual fish is really uncomfortable for me, so I need to take more supported. You could use your block for that, or a pillow. I mean, so whatever, but that's what I'm gonna be using. So, woo. And my son is watching YouTube in the background, so I'm hoping that that's not gonna interfere too bad. I'll try to speak loudly. Alright, so just bolster off to the side for now. And I will be using a block to sit on. Sitting in what's called hero seat. So your feet back behind you. And if you don't need a block and you can just sit back on your heels like this, awesome for you. I cannot. So I sit on a block, the skinny side up on the top. Sometimes I can lower it, but that much pressure on my ankles and the top of my foot is just extremely uncomfortable and leaves me in a lot of pain. So, starting in hero seat, and just taking a moment to close your eyes and center yourself. The question that I asked myself when I came up with this flow was, what are you holding on to? So that is kind of my intention and my focus for this flow, is listening to what I'm holding on to and letting it go. So taking a couple of shoulder rolls, again, intentional movement, so not very quick, but bringing your shoulders up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. Paying attention to the areas in your body where you feel the most tension, and maybe stopping there for just a moment to allow it to release in its own time. And then when you find yourself down, reverse the motion, so going back and then forward. What are you barking at? When you come all the way down, trying to focus on elongating your neck, bringing the crown of your head up as high as you can to create as much length in your body as you can. And then letting your shoulders settle. And then take your neck, don't tuck your chin, but push your neck forward. It's a very slight movement. It might feel kind of dramatic in your body, but if I look at myself, I'm not moving very much at all. And then bring your neck back. And then forward. Trying to not move your shoulders. I know it's really hard, or difficult for me anyway. That's why I call it intentional movement. Thinking about what you're doing and feeling it inside of your body. While it might not look like much, as long as it feels like what we're aiming for here. Maybe one more back, and one more forward. Woo. And then again, letting that settle, coming back to center. Take your right arm and bring it across your body. Bring your left arm underneath. And just twist. Stretch your arm to the left. Kind of twist your body along with it. Maybe you look to the right. Kind of let go and pull out some of that shoulder. And then stretching your left arm across your body, right arm hooked underneath. Gently twisting your body along with it. Maybe you look to the left. And we'll do that one more time on each side. Right arm in front. And I like doing this because I feel more of a release and a stretch in the left side. I can feel all those muscles along my back really working to get the most out of this stretch. And then switch arms. Sorry, looking to the left so we can feel this stretch a little more on the right side. And then coming to stand at the top of your mat. Before we do the one thing, it's called knocking on heaven's door. Arms by your side and just little gentle arm swings, kind of tapping. I think you're supposed to tap your kidneys. My hands kind of landing on the outside of my hips. Just very gentle movements here, letting your arms swing freely, but intentionally. And then allowing that to settle, coming back to center. And then we'll do pelvic tilts. So imagine that your pelvis area is like a bowl. And think about tipping that bowl forward. I don't know, well, kind of, sort of. I don't know how to angle myself really. But your bowl goes forward, so your tailbone comes up. And then reverse that, tipping your bowl back. Your tailbone tucks down, pelvis comes up, down, and then up. So we're elongating our spine and then bringing it closer together and elongating the front of our body. Maybe just do that 2 more times at your own pace, focusing. Maybe 1 more time while I let my dog out, who's going to be begging to come back in just a couple of minutes. So now take your feet maybe just a little farther than hips width apart, not much, just a little. Standing, neutral body, and then bring your chin to your chest. Bring your shoulders round your back. Bring your shoulders closer together. Take that pelvic tilt. Tilt your bowl back, elongating your spine. And then very slowly begin to bring your chest and your pelvis a little closer together, creating this, what feels like a very rounded spine. Looks like a rounded spine, especially in my scoliosis back. Very slow movements. When you feel that tension, just stop for a moment. I feel some right here, and I really haven't gone that far down. I'm just kind of allowing that to slowly release. Let gravity do the work. Just imagine something soft, maybe like a cloud resting on your back, slowly bringing you down. And as you get closer, feel free to bend your knees very generously if you would like. Again, we're folding, getting everything close together. And I'm going to fold over by my bent knees. I'm just stopping here. This is called dangle, again in yin yoga. And in yin, you hold shapes for a longer amount of time to allow your body to release in a a much deeper place than it would if you were taking a very quick and fast movement. So just allow your head to become heavy. You're resting on those knees. The thighs, I'm sorry, you're not really on your knees, you're on your thighs. And if you'd like, you could grab opposite elbows with your hands to make your top a little heavier. Maybe you feel a little more of a release or a pop in your back. If you let your neck hang a little more, get a little longer, maybe you'll find more pops and release. If you don't want your knees to be bent anymore, you can straighten them a little bit, sway side to side. Just notice what's going on in your body, what it's asking you for, what it's releasing. What are you holding on to? Maybe you send your breath to those areas, giving oxygen and life to your muscles, again in an intentional way. Then you can release your arms if you had them held, and then just as slowly as we came into this, keeping your body rounded, slowly begin to bring yourself back up to the top. Your knees unbend first. Keeping that rounded spine as long as you possibly can. As you come back up to the top, making sure you take a really big breath in at the top so that our head doesn't get dizzy. Bring your hands to your hips. Your thumbs kind of on right above your butt on your lower back. And back bend, taking that pelvic tilt again to make your spine longer. Bending back as far as you need to go. And then back to neutral. Just hang out here for a moment. Notice how that feels. If you would like to set an intention for yourself, for your practice, now would be a good time to do so. So then bringing your feet back closer together. Step your right foot back. It doesn't have to be a huge step back. We're coming into the shape called pyramid. And then this is where you use the blocks, bringing the ground closer to you. If you want to place them on either side of you at whatever height that you would like. You don't even have to use them if you don't want to. So body forward. Again, intentionally elongate your spine. Begin to fold over your front leg. And if you need, you can bend that knee. Folding, finding your blocks, if that makes it more comfortable for you. Trying to fold as far over this front leg as you can. We're stretching out our hamstrings, low back, the whole spine, neck. And now half lift. Press into the ground, making your spine straighter, straight. And then lower your back knee into a lunge, low lunge. And then rock back. Well, you might want to bring your knee back just a little bit more so that you can straighten this front leg, half split. If you'd like, flex your toes pointed up. Stretching out the front of this leg, front hamstring, front leg hamstring, I don't know, yeah, you know, words. Resting as far back into that heel as you can. And then coming back up to that low lunge. Standing back up into pyramid, bringing your foot closer to you if you need. Folding. step that back foot forward, keeping that half lift. And then inhale all the way up to the top. Upward hands. Bring your hands to heart center. And let that go. And then we'll step back with the opposite leg. You step back with your right, step back with your left. And fighting pyramid. And then intentionally, tilt your pelvis again. Fold over that front leg. Using the blocks to bring the ground closer to you. Trying to fold as far over that leg as you can. And if you notice, my front leg is bent. Keeping that straight leg is not comfortable for me. It's important to make the adjustments that you need to make this work for you. And then half lift, making that spine long and strong. And then lower the back leg into a low lunge. Rocking back into that half split. Pointing your toes up at the ceiling to get the most length out of your muscles as you can. Noticing any differences on this side than we're on the right. Can you go farther back? Not as far back. Are there any different sensations in your body? Just let all of that resonate with you and appreciate it. Coming back up into that low lunge, lifting your back leg, finding pyramid, folding over that front leg. Half lift, and then step your left foot to meet your right, keeping that lift, and then inhale all the way up to the top, upward hands, and bringing hands to heart center, and let that go. Now you can move your blocks out of the way if you had them there, and then again, stepping your feet out a little wider. We're going to go back to that slow motion dangle, and see, are you still holding on to the things that you were holding on to before? Bring your chin to your chest. Bring your shoulders closer together. Maybe you move a little faster this time because things have been released. Things have been warmed up. They're more malleable. Fun words. Tucking your pelvis. Elongating that lower spine. Rounding in the back. Again, noting if you feel any tension, stopping and letting it go. Bending your knees if you need. To dangle. Grabbing opposite elbows. Swaying side to side. Whatever movement feels good in your body. Hanging out for several breaths. And noting what feels different after you've warmed up and you've practiced. You've taken things that you've learned and you've used them to your benefit the second time around. It's a good feeling to know that you can be better, that your body can do more. Releasing if you had opposite elbows, release that. place your hands on your shins, getting that long and strong, straight spine. I had to tuck my tail, I could feel it. My spine was crunched together. And then again, fold. Lowering down to the ground, maybe you come into a squat. It's always my preferred way to come to the ground. All the way back. And then this is where I'm going to take that supported fish. You put your bolster back behind you. If you don't want to use the bolster and you want to take fish, again, it's not a shape that I normally take without support. But you would pretend like you had your back rested up against something. You would use your elbows, your arms to support you. As you lower back, keeping your spine above the ground and dropping your head back. That is, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, would be how you would take fish without support. But I like support. So bringing that bolster or your pillow to that low of your back, and then still taking that same motion, lowering your body back, your elbows down, resting your head, and just let your feet kind of flop to the side. Just allow yourself to settle. You're noticing your areas of tension, making any adjustments if you need. Lying in supported fish is better for my neck. I have a bulging disc in my neck, and when it hangs freely down, it causes a lot of pain for me. And I've learned it's definitely okay to support yourself where you're not strong enough to hold yourself up. And this is much more like a restorative shape. Just allowing this to settle. If you wanted to play some music while you hung out here, I would encourage you to do so. Music definitely doesn't play through the speakers very well from the video, so I won't do that. And you could hang out here, for up to 10 minutes if you wanted, as long as you wanted. And if you'd like, this can be your shavasana to end your practice. If you'd rather take the more traditional, you can move the bolster out of the way and lie all the way down. And again, I'm going to ask myself, what am I holding on to? Maybe the answer will come to me. Maybe it won't, but it probably will when I need it because of my practice. And that's what I love about yoga. You move on the mat so that it can find you as you move in your life. And it's a pretty beautiful thing. So again, I encourage you to stay here absolutely as long as you feel necessary. And if you'd like to come out, and bringing your knees up very slowly, rolling over to one side, off of your bolster if you were still on it. Maybe bring your arm underneath your ear, like in a fetal position. And just allow your body to kind of reset back into a neutral state before bringing yourself up to sit. Inhaling at the top, bringing in all of that good oxygen. And I place my palms up, gathering opposite energies, positive and negative, light and dark, connecting all of this at my heart space. I honor your life as my own. Thank you for coming to practice with me and sharing your time and your energy with me. Thank you.
Bye.